And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely a D in the building, trying to compose herself. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
Yeah, we had a weather incident.
Yeah, we had a little weather incident.
We did.
Cool.
It was unrecorded, but we had one.
Yeah, we got an excellent guest.
Everything's
in
fine.
man.
The cheese tray is cool. We all
The cheese tray.
Let that be
We still drinking drinks. You know what I mean?
You know.
Everything's still on the table.
Yeah. So, my man Chris, question for you.
Yes.
That was a joke. I mean, we talked about in the first half about how your your eye is. You know what I'm saying? And how much you critique the work that you see in the movies that you view. So, what movie that you remember that you recall? Because I imagine you see a lot of movies.
Oh yeah.
He sees every
movie. Oh, okay.
Every movie.
Probably before they come out.
I tried to. Yeah.
Okay.
So researching.
So what movie have you been able to watch that you said, you know what? Now that was a piece of work right there. I didn't have a whole lot of critiques. I just really was able to enjoy it from somewhat beginning to end.
I mean, I do have a lot of movies like that. I have recently. They've probably just been Marvel movies. I'm a huge like Marvel comics nerd. So like this is like.
Don't go see Marvel movies with him.
Oh really?
Oh damn.
You can. Oh yeah, Mission Impossible. Recently, Mission Impossible. Fallout was it right? That's damn near a perfect movie. Like, especially if you like action, intrigue, and
even though
romance.
Tom Cruise like 60.
Yo,
I know. I said that too. You know, I am getting tired of it, but the rest of the cast like balances out because you see him kind of wearing down. Like that's why he gets busted up in the movie, but I mean, it makes sense. But they tie in everything from the other movies so well. Like it's just.
How many is that now for the Mission Impossible series?
It's a game.
6. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting up there with the Fast and Furious.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes, Lord.
Exactly.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. We started previewing. Me and my girls. I love to go to the movies. Me and my daughters were in there.
007.
When the preview came on, I was like,
oceans.
"Fuck! They need it. It's time. It's he again."
Yeah.
Right. Sit down, Tom. Tom.
Yes.
That's why you broke your leg, Tom.
Mission.
Sit down.
Give somebody else a chance.
Hanging off a building.
But, and then, like that movie, and then like the Jack Reacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, we ain't down with no Jack Reacher.
Okay.
It was reaching.
That was
it was reaching.
That was a negative.
Okay.
Fail.
What about the Equalizer movies?
I haven't seen the second one yet.
What did you think about the first?
I haven't seen a lot of stuff lately, man. It's
right.
I'm gonna get to it.
But you like the first Equalizer?
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot.
I love that one.
Yeah, I was because I guess in my mind, I watch all these movies and I see Tom Cruise doing the Mission Impossible stuff. I see him doing the Jack Reacher stuff. You see with all these white actors for the most part being these superhero type of guys. I'm like, yo, where we going? Get a brother to do 007. Like, you see all the
Idris. Come on, Idris.
That's what I'm saying,
Come
man.
on.
It's about time.
Yes.
So, but Denzel, when he did that Equalizer, I was like, yo, that's what I've been kind of looking for.
And
he was like
ask.
retired,
Yeah, and because people have asked him as of late, like, why haven't you done a Marvel movie? And he's like, because they didn't ask me.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, it's as simple as that. They just, we got to get more of that. And like I said, I was really influenced by Spielberg. So I like seeing that kind of stuff. But I want to see more black people and minorities in that kind of stuff. Like we can go into space too. It's okay.
That's what I'm saying. We can do stuff
we can
like
do that and not have like a pretense behind it. Like we don't have you don't have to be struggling on a broke spaceship while no, it's just you just an astronaut like everybody else.
A regular astronaut.
Right.
Exactly.
You don't have to have a story.
We don't need the
Right.
pretense. So yeah.
You don't gotta be from the project
At all.
The crackhead mama.
Right. You from the trash
From the
galaxy.
PJs.
Why? You just like everybody else. So I'm trying. I want to see that more and get to that. And I kind of see it happening, which is partially why I like some of the new Marvel movies and just the new stuff that's been coming out. It's getting a little bit more diverse. I'm like, we're on a roll.
I can appreciate Luke Cage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Luke Cage. I love it, man. I like both seasons, man.
Yeah.
That's my show.
Came with it.
The other day.
Right.
Sweet Christmas, yeah, because I love that. I'm glad they kept that in because that's something his character actually says. In the comment, I'm like, yes, it kind of gives him that throwback without all the other bullshit, that black exploitation bullshit. From the comics,
but them shits was dope too, though. Some of them.
Well, I think. I know what you're saying.
The Asian was like, "Why you laughing so hard?" Wait, why you laughing so hard though?
For real.
Because I'm thinking, in Marvel movies, when you're looking at it, why is Iron Fist white?
Yeah.
Bruh. Why was The Last Samurai white?
Hey, I like that movie.
Don't get me started.
The Mexican.
That movie breaks me down at the end. It does. I don't care what you
But
think
I'm
about
glad
me.
you brought that up, though, because looking at your field and, you know, as a black man, how diverse is it actually? And what are the challenges there?
I mean, to me, there are a lot of challenges because it's definitely not as diverse as it should be. You know, you just don't see it. It's happening more and more, but it's in spots, you know, and it's not. But generally, you know, I feel like behind the scenes is probably a little bit more diverse. But as far as the images that you're getting presented with, there's a long way to go. Whether you're black, Asian, or Mexican, because you're still relegated to these little pockets of existence cinematically, and you're not allowed to just be. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's not even close to that yet. So that's what I feel. The challenge is I think more people need ownership of their stories, what they're telling, and be able to make their decisions when they want to make it and not have to check up, you know, to another studio and, oh, well, we can't tell this because it's not going to sell, whatever. Like, we got to get to a point where everybody can tell their own story and be in control of it, period.
I think once control.
Exactly.
Control
and once that happens, then we'll see more of it. You know?
Yeah, no question, man. Yeah, that's. I mean, and we're hearing about that in a lot of spaces, but especially like say the movie industry and just that creative space where we have to be able to control the narrative of our own stories, and we have to be able to have a platform to be able to tell those stories that have been washed away, you know, throughout history,
right?
You know,
especially in America and black people in America. There's you know, with stuff like Black Wall Street and all these things, you know, you'd be surprised that, you know. I'll ask some of my white friends about, you know, or tell them about that. Or they'll see, you know, a little video on YouTube, a little vignette or whatever, and they'll be like, "Wow, I didn't know that happened." And I'm like, "Damn, that was in like 1930 or something." And it's crazy how
they those just are the things that are overlooked.
Don't know about it, right?
And so under the rug, rather.
And the problem is that you'll also have black people who
don't know
exactly. That's true. That's the worst.
Had that too.
Know?
So it's, you know, that's why it's important for those stories to get out, and then not only to tell those stories, to be able to tell more and more and more stories.
Right.
You know?
Because there's so many.
Right.
There's so many stories that just have not been uncovered.
Right.
So many stories.
I think there's still stuff we're uncovering and learning about that. You know.
And then just you know, kind of pulling out just this creativity. You know what I'm saying? And showing an individual like you that has this in them that can create all this new stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's important to be able to show that as well as the history that we have.
Yeah, and keep the balance so it doesn't disappear ever again.
No doubt.
Right, because I think they can get lost. I think that they can get lost sometimes because not only are there so many stories uncovered, there's so many stories that are alike. So it's really just finding that way to make yours different and make yours appealing, you know, to the audience.
Good point.
Yeah, me working with a film producer, shout out to Charles W. Bush with Appointed Productions. Me been on him for like about 10 years now, and I work with him on set. I'm a wardrobe stylist on set. So really being behind the scenes with him and, you know, seeing him just direct overall, it just opens up your eye, you know, and to be in your shoes for just a moment. Just sitting there and just like, wow, it's a lot of things that you guys have to cover. It's definitely a lot of work, and people, it's a lot of time and energy that goes into it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility because especially if you're like the director or the head or even a producer, you know, it's up to you to present the story in a certain way. You know, obviously you're gonna have, particularly if it's historical. You know, you might not be able to tell every nuance, but you need to be able to find the overarching story, the most important part, and be able to convey that in the proper way, you know. And that's why it's important to me to have ownership of that, to be able to tell those stories correctly. You know, you're not doing a movie with you know, Frederick Douglass, but he's tap dancing and shit. Like, you know, doing you know, The Greatest Showman, but with Frederick Douglass. No, we don't. We just telling the regular story. You know, we don't need that to sell it. You know.
Yeah, like they did Harriet Tubman Vampire Hunter or some shit.
I heard. That was a show or was it a comic?
It was like it was a movie. It was
Vampire Hunter.
It was Abraham Lincoln, but she was in there too.
She was in.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
had
been
her
a while
in
since
there.
I've seen that.
Crazy. She was light skinned because the chick was from New Orleans, and it became a whole thing because the chick was real fair skinned, and they were like, "Why you casting?" And she was like,
"We do have,
but it's not historical
because
they're making her
Right.
like a vampire hunter thing, whatever."
Uh-huh.
So,
or like
Yeah.
that
Controversy there.
that one. What was it, Nina Simone movie?
oh yeah, and what you call it played her.
And I like her as an actress.
What's her name?
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
messed
She
up.
played
I
Nina
actually
Simone.
watched the movie the whole way through.
I
and
saw the
was
movie
like,
too.
Eyes be damn. Like, it was
She
crazy.
tried.
She looked
She
crazy, and the
tried.
prosthetics, like it was just really unconvincing on top of everything else. Surprisingly, the
remember
only
that.
the
I
only
remember
good
that.
performance in that movie was
Because
Mike
it was a
Epps
lot of talk.
playing Richard
Yeah.
Pryor. Like he
Okay.
just
He
like
nailed
him. I
it.
was
Okay.
surprised. I was
But
like,
nobody
what?
saw it because nobody
Exactly.
wanted to see her as Nina
And that's a
Simone.
shame
Right.
because he was dope.
He
in
did
it.
that.
But
Because I
everything
remember all
else,
that
Yeah.
auditioning
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that whole little, all that. It was a lot.
I want to switch gears though. I want to talk about how the transition is because you're an artist, successfully. I know you have international listeners and all that stuff. Like he's really modest about it.
global.
But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
On the,
Check
check him out. He's on the globe.
So, as an artist, what's the transition from you making your own music and then scoring films and being on that side of the spectrum? Like, do you incorporate your own music into films or your own beats?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all me. Like, you know, when you're composing, I mean, it's all coming from you. I mean, if you're scoring a movie and it's not all you, then you about to have a lawsuit. So it's all you, like, and from the ground up, you're composing it. But I mean, I guess I don't understand, like.
So, are you still a full-fledged artist? Do you devote more of your time to?
I think I'm devoting more of my time now to scoring because that's just, you know, what I'm working most on right now. But I'm still developing my own music, or even, you know, I really want to produce more, get back into that for other artists, and because I like developing sounds, especially with like new artists, and kind of being on the ground floor with them and crafting something new and fresh. That's why I admire Pharrell so much, because he's done that with so many artists. You know, they come out and it's his sound in a way, you know, because he has a unique sound, but he also helps to craft theirs as well.
Right.
So I definitely want to do more of that, you know. And so, but I'd say they're kind of separate for me, because the music, that's, to me, that's one vein of the sound, and the score for me is something completely different. You know, just sound like, unless, depending on the score, if I have to kind of combine the sounds, like with Black Panther recently, like the way they you know, you have some of these trap beats and Afro beats mixed in with the score, and you know, if it's something like that, then yeah, they'll definitely collide. So just depends.
Yeah, Black Panther was a good one, and then what was the one with Trevor? Superfly, because you know,
Superfly.
Future did the
That was a good
score
movie.
for that.
It was
But the
high.
sound,
you know,
It was high. I would say
you
it was
didn't
high.
like the sound design?
I was, you know what? Can I just speak on
Concerned.
this?
Yeah,
Because I'll just say this, just from a fan's standpoint, the soundtrack is so important to a movie. And if I think the soundtrack is gonna be whack, I promise you, I won't go see the movie. Like I won't do it.
Yeah.
No man, and I'll probably miss out. But
Mike was like, yes,
yeah,
hell yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been, you know, I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, and I was reborn in the 90s with the music.
Right.
Like I was in college, like from I was in high school from 90, and I graduated college in 98. So all in the 90s, I was just, you know, becoming myself.
You graduated college in 98?
I graduated college in 98, undergrad. But so I'm the 90s music, I just can't get it out of my head. And the soul, the 70s, that's just
that's my
time.
thing. Okay, I'd say this for the new Superfly. The soundtrack sonically might be good, but for the movie and just to me, the music was, I can't go from the original Superfly, like Curtis Mayfield. I can't go from that to Future auto-tune singing over some.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I can't do it. I can't
that's
do
exactly
it, man.
what I'm saying.
I just can't do it.
Shout out to Jason Mitchell though. That's the homie.
Oh yeah.
That's the homie. Gotta support. I went to support, and I was like,
well, yeah,
it was better
it's
than
always
I
support.
expected.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Yeah, I'm not really critiquing the movie so much, but I mean, because you just asked about the music. The music, I wasn't a fan, but I think the movie to me was better than I expected. But, but I still.
Because the hair caught me off guard.
That's what I'm saying. I saw that in the trailer.
I'm really supposed
to
take this serious? Okay. All right.
Yeah, Superfly.
I'm supposed to take this serious? All right.
Now, man.
We gonna see with the perm.
Oh, man.
No, but it was, but I just felt like it was unnecessary. Like every other remake that they do, I'm like, especially of classic stuff, why? Nobody asked you to do that.
I don't know. It's so weird because I feel
just
like
doing some shit.
There are so many people. If you look
Sony's like, we gotta sell some shit.
Yeah, it's time.
Superfly.
It's time.
Perms.
Let's go.
A lot of hairspray.
I got the perfect actor in mind.
It's crazy though because to me,
money.
There's a surplus of
man.
New studios, just like 15 studios. You have so many new indie film production companies.
A lot of people,
indie films that are coming out that are really good.
Nice.
Random Acts of Flyness is on HBO. So I mean, it's so much stuff out there that it kind of is mind-boggling that they pull back the most random stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I saw Superfly, I was like,
original.
really?
Give that budget to the new storytellers.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like you can draw inspiration from a Superfly
right.
and create a.
But don't call it Superfly.
Don't call it, because
you're
gonna connect that with individuals who are gonna connect it to the original Superfly.
Right. That's coming here looking for blaxploitation.
You know?
Right.
And that's why it confused me.
They did some cho-chos.
Man, I thought this was I thought we was pimping in the street talking about cryptocurrency.
Like,
what the hell?
Right.
Women sucking toes and shit.
Yeah, there's a way to do it for
slapping
sure.
nothing but keyboard
Season 2.
buttons.
Season 2. Oh,
Season
man.
2 is off the rip.
Yeah.
Why y'all need to tune in?
Okay, you heard
Shout
he
out.
said what he said.
You heard him?
Tune
He gonna
in.
slide in the drop
He said what he said.
right in the middle of the show.
For our podcast.
He said what he said.
Hey,
You know?
We here.
I'm just saying.
I love it.
Yes.
So, what are you looking for? I know you have the animation joint that you're working on right now.
That's
Yes, I can't wait for
know
that.
What else that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
I mean, I kind of just want to do more of that. But I do want to get back to more of the film stuff, get back to the acting, directing, all that. You know, I'm trying to get a little crew together and, just get back on the storytelling stuff because I got a lot of stories that I want to tell. So definitely that. Continue with the score, the music, just kind of more of everything. Like, mess with the voiceover.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, and good point. Good point on that. Stylist, because that's one thing a lot of independent filmmakers don't think about. They don't think about set design. They don't think about fashion design. They don't think about stylists. And that's all important because if you're trying to make a vision, even though you might not pick up on that, if it's not like a period piece, people think it's not designed, but it is.
Right.
So that's part of the whole, part and parcel of the whole thing. You gotta, get that all together. So yeah, definitely.
So you went to college specifically for this because I went even on my high school ring and had graphic design. I went for graphic design and then I got to SCAD and I was like, graphic design. Gonna do
you were
fashion.
like, nah, I'm like,
Ain't no money.
So you go to school and then I took a photography class and I was like, I could be a photographer. And I took an art class. So I know college, I always tell my kids college is the time that you figure out what you really want to do. I think you graduate high school thinking and then you get to college. And
I feel like I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but sometimes that's not always true because I think people do that sometimes. Like, I want to do this or be a banker or whatever, whatever it is, and then you get there and you're like, damn, this ain't what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll jump off this building.
Time to
now.
do something.
Damn, man,
real,
you could have switched, but yeah. So
Back
you
to
never,
the drawing
you never
board.
know. Right.
Yeah.
So you went to SCAD knowing you wanted to do film?
Oh, absolutely. That was just one of those things I always knew. That's since day one, that's what I want to do for sure. Just all in that, all of that. That's where I want to be. And music, I've always been immersed in music, but I think that was kind of the thing I kind of stumbled upon where when I started making it, before I went to college, I messed with little music programs. I'm like, oh, I got a little something for it. So, and Mike remembers all this stuff. I used to do everything. Remember PlayStation, the movie or Music Maker or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to I learned how to sample from that because you couldn't sample much. So I'd do like little chops and put stuff, and then we record it on a little tape, and then I'd give it to them and be like, "Yo, man, listen to this."
Check this out.
Oh, that's kind of dope. And
he was the best sampler there was like 4 of us trying to make music.
Yeah, we all trying to do it.
It was all bad. I mean, using all the riffs and using everything else, but he was actually good. I mean, he brought like certain sounds to it that we never thought you could actually bring to music.
Dope.
And that's what we need.
Okay.
And I think that's the
big
exciting
friend.
thing about.
Shout out to the best friend. Though.
Yeah,
I know, man.
Mike better have Chris
That's my
back.
best friend.
Hey,
That's my best
go
friend.
best friend.
You better.
Hey.
No, but I know that's something that I love about the stuff that you do with Justin and with 15 Studios, because you guys, your storylines are always just different. I know the story will be initially what was the first one? The guy was like a assassin or whatever in the future. What was the first one that you guys did? You were acting in it.
The one with the fight scene.
Yeah. What was the name of that one?
You guys fought in the
See, we remember. You don't even remember.
We did a lot of fights. Wait, so
that particular one?
The one, it was a short film. Y'all did like a GoFundMe or something for it. You're the worst. I need to call Justin.
Damn.
But the storylines are always like really out there, really good though. But the sound design is always outside the box. So do you know going in, like, I want to do something really, really creative and off the wall, like, or? Oh yeah, definitely. That's something that's always discussed, like in the prelim stage before we even get to a script. And particularly with me and Justin, we work well like that. I tend to be the idea guy. I'll just come up, yo, what if it was this and this and that, and then he'd be like, yeah, that's dope, but if we kind of refine it or have this in here, it'll make better sense, and and the ideas kind of come along that way. But yeah, we always know, what we're aiming for, like off the jump, and then it gets refined as it goes along, like through the script, and then you figure out, okay, what can we do, what can't we do, and Okay, so how can people follow you? You can follow me right now on Instagram on at @the_Mr_Terry, and I don't have any other websites up at the moment. I'm developing that, but you can go on there and just kind of see little snippets of work that I'm doing, and so kind of getting a broad idea of everything that I do. I'm still trying to figure out his algorithm, because he'll post just a random post and get like 200 likes, and I'm like, no, I've been on Instagram for like almost 4 years, and nobody was liking my stuff. And I did read some stuff, and I had like 1,000 posts, and I've purged my page twice. That's why I only have like, I think, less than 40 posts right now. So I purged all that stuff, and I just posted stuff that I felt like were the best pictures or the best things that I want to do. It's somewhere along the line, I just started getting more likes. Because people have asked me, I'm like, I don't know. Like, bruh, I don't know what to tell you. He could literally, we could go out somewhere and like, post. I mean, look, and I might get like 70 likes, and he gets like 200. And I'm like, the fuck? He don't even have no hashtag.
You do a man.
I do hashtags. I'll do in like only 1 to 3 hashtags, but I won't do. I used to do like 40 hashtags. I got 20, right? And I got like 60 likes. But I read. He got like 2. I read that. He got like 250 fucking likes. So I'm like, it's not good to do like a million. It's not fair. Okay. I learned, I've been reading, so I've been trying to do, what I read that other people who are like getting it. So I guess that's been helping me. But other than that, I don't have a. That and that BDE.
Oh, that's
oh man.
Season 2.
Season 2. We in the building with the BDE.
Season 2 is crazy. Y'all check it out.
We might as well end on a high note. I told y'all I had a funny story. It's funny to me. It might not be funny to him, but I was at the organic grocery store, minding my business, shopping, trying to be healthy for my family, and I got a DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Chris, it must be a movie or something.
Yeah.
And it was a dick pic.
BDE.
He sent you an
And I was
eggplant.
Mm.
He said you was
The
shopping. He
whole,
sent you an
and
eggplant.
he got the angle, like with Drake. He was working
Hey,
on
you
it.
gotta
like
be
a
presentable,
band.
man.
But look, but you know who he is, so you know what the pic gonna look like.
What?
It's
No.
gonna be production
Hold on.
behind it.
We don't just walk around like that.
No. I mean, we've been friends. We went to college together.
Yeah.
We was always friends. You know, we hung out, whatever. And I was like, what? What?
Did you have questions?
Confused.
I was so
Concerned.
confused. And then
What happened?
the old me would have been like, oh, what you doing lately?
But since the Lord is working
grown.
on her,
Working
You
through her
grown
life,
now.
Throwing it
restoring
out
and
there.
renewing her
Shoot
to
your
another
shot.
level.
You know?
I was like, shit. I might have screenshot it and sent it to my friends.
Yeah, but like, yo, look at this, Bob. Like,
Like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to say? And then
Expect
right
the
after that,
unexpected.
he hit me like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God,
I'm sending that out.
OMG.
Da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, you just
somebody
out
hacked
here-
my account.
No, I didn't say it was hacked. It wasn't hacked. I wasn't paying attention. Okay?
oh man,
Just
I'm trying
sending
to
it
get
to
your whole
multiple. Okay,
Oh,
1,
no.
2, 3,
Damn.
4, 5, send.
Oh,
we
man.
had a little conversation. And I was like, you know, if you're going to send these, you might want to,
review the name.
yeah.
That you
Make
sent.
Exactly,
sure
and that's
the
what I
angle
thought I did because I was just
Yeah.
like, bow. And I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
what did I?
like,
Like,
hold
it's
up.
cool.
I
It's
done,
all
like your whole
good.
energy changed.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
everything just. I got very solemn.
And he felt really
Solemn.
bad. Like, he sent like 3 more messages back to back, like, for real, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
for
I
real,
don't
that-
know.
No,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't like that, so I didn't want to be,
Yeah, you
you
want
know,
no
just be
yeah.
chilling like, yeah, check that out. No,
Right.
no,
Hold
I
up.
didn't mean to.
Unsolicited.
Nah, see, that's some bullshit because it'd be different if you had the little dick energy.
he had
Don't
the BDE.
don't send BDE and be like, I know a lot of women don't like that.
Yeah,
You
my
sit
bad.
there like,
It don't matter what it is.
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
see
you
how she gonna
synced it.
respond to
Okay.
you
that.
think
It
that.
don't matter. Man.
So now,
Scene.
Chris Terry about to get 1,500 likes on his next post.
Got that scene
Just
notification.
saying, ladies, are you still single?
Scene.
Yeah.
Single? Oh, okay.
Delivered.
Go ahead and slide in them DMs, ladies. Y'all
It
not
goes
gonna
down.
be disappointed.
The underscore Mr. underscore
The-
Terry. With a Y, not an I.
With a Y.
Not an eye.
Ah, with the eye.
Man.
Get ready to Netflix and chill.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
you
he
gonna
didn't know
Netflix
what
chill,
was
you
about
better
to-
know about movies.
You know?
Look.
Right.
Okay, ladies, he's single. He likes long walks on the beach. He likes to Netflix and chill and make you really pay attention to the
Attention to
movie.
detail.
He's ready to
Attention
mingle.
to detail.
Yeah.
It's- Oh, yeah.
Very much
definitely
so.
See,
Single
that's the
already.
messed up part. What does BDE even stand for?
Oh, my
Our
God,
world,
man.
that stands, no,
Mike.
don't even say it, but
Mike.
that stands for like business developer executive.
There you go.
you
Yeah,
can stick
sure.
You
There
can
we
stick
go.
to that because you
I
might
like
you
that.
might have
Might
somebody
be
with a business
developing
plan.
some
You
business.
might,
Hey,
you might,
Yeah, you
might
developing
just have
something for
somebody
real.
with a business plan. You
And
might.
you about to
Circulate.
Hey, everybody else on Instagram making money doing it. Why can't I?
Why
You know?
not?
Shoot.
I
Let us
am
all get some of that.
You know?
Absolutely a deal.
You know?
This shit, girl, speak volumes, Nicole.
I'm the black ghost, you know what I'm saying? 75, I'm in the building.
And this is the quad.